Why does having strength be equal on both sides of the body so important for sports performance? Let's take a look at this question. When you're looking at the way that the human body moves through space, we always break the body down into three dimensions. You have the left and the right side, you have what's going on above and below the belly button, and you have what's going on the front side of the body and the back side of the body. No matter what sport you're involved in, your number one goal needs to be that you always have balance between both sides, top and bottom, front and back. We say in the physiology world, literally you're only as strong as your weakest link. No matter what sport you're involved with, if there isn't a good balance between strength and flexibility, and if there isn't a good balance between opposite sides, left, right, top, bottom, front, back, you will reach a point of diminishing returns where your speed and your endurance will be negatively affected. Let me elaborate. It is my desire when you're strength training that you always do free weights and you do them independent of each other. And what I mean by that is I'd prefer you to always use individual dumbbells than a straight bar whenever possible. If I'm taking something like a shoulder press, we want to make sure that all the muscles that are engaged from the top of the shoulder all the way up to the back of your neck, both the right and the left side, have the same amount of raw power and output. I want to make sure that they have the same range of motion, because anytime you raise your hands over your head, the most dominant side, stronger side, is going to start to take over. This is what leads to a lot of muscular imbalances and a lot of sports performance. What we call, well, I won't call it that. You're essentially underperforming what your capabilities are. So if we take somebody like a swimmer, when they put their arm out in front of them, that's what we call the front quadrant of the swimming stroke. If they're right side dominant, when they pull through, they get to 90 degrees and then they start to push back. If this side is over dominant on this one, they're going to start to drift one direction or other. It's based on how far their arm comes over their center line. When you're in an open water swimming environment, you want to swim the distance that you've been training for. If you're zigzagging back and forth, that's most of the time due to muscular imbalance and/or a flexibility issue. If you're riding a bicycle, if you're highly competitive on a bicycle, we want to have even distribution between both left and right, pedaling in full circles. Think about what I just said. Left and right leg, we want them to have as close as possible the same amount of power output. Well, that's going to require the top of the leg, the quadriceps, as well as the back of the legs, the hamstrings, front of your shins, tibialis anterior, and the back of the lower leg, quads and soleus muscle, in order to be able to pedal in full circle and do that for an extended period of time. I'm giving you these examples relatively quickly just to set the context. We want to make sure that the left matches the right. We want to make sure that the front matches the back. We want to make sure what's going on above the belly button matches what's going on below. When that happens, you get three dimensions of movement that are both consistent and they're going to be powerful, and we'll even use the word fast and have high-end levels of endurance. See how it's almost like easy money. If you understand every time you go to the gym and you work your bicep, you need to work your tricep. Same amount of reps, same amount of sets. If you work your chest, you need to work your back. If you're working your quads, you need to work your hamstrings. If I'm doing bicep curl on the left side, I want to make sure that I'm doing the same amount of weight on the right side. Now, this is an area that I get a little bit of heat online about. What if you've had an injury and one side's not as strong as the other? Great point. You want to create muscle symmetry. So let's say that I've injured my left side. Let's say I can only curl 15 pounds on this because I've had a bicep injury. Well, I don't want this one to all of a sudden get to 45 or 50. All I'm doing is creating a muscular imbalance. I know it's frustrating. This arm feels like it can lift 15 pounds all day. I understand. But what we're trying to do is keep the discrepancy between the left and the right from becoming too big, because it will start to negatively impact your sport-specific balance. And it doesn't matter what it is. You're always moving in the same three. When we talk about the movement of a human being, sport-specific activity includes the same three dimensions of movement: left, right, above and below the belly button, in the front and in the back. So Keep that in mind when you're in the gym. It's very important that we keep muscle symmetry. And remember, muscle strength needs to be complemented with muscle flexibility. Otherwise, it's just going to lead to unfortunate injuries and inefficiencies, which will negatively impact your speed and your endurance. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, I want to first and foremost say thank you. Please like and subscribe to the video, and don't forget to turn on the notifications and subscribe. We put out a new video every day here on YouTube, and we hope to see you again tomorrow. If we happen to stir up any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer it. contact@coachrobb.com. We do convert your questions into a video, and we'd like to share it with others. Again, thank you for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.